Okay. Hi, my name is Eric, and I'm just going to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about all of these organizations we have in Norway and how we can take all of these and make something that helps all of us make games. It's great, we have a lot of cool organizations, but I think we're all doing our own thing and we're not really cohesively working together. So I'm not here to talk about Stickman. Oh, how did that get there? Oops. But I am here to talk about this guy as well, because organically he was doing what some of us are trying to do. He was connecting us, he was introducing us and getting us to work together. And even after we lost Jory, he continues to do this. When he died, I first thought, man, I lost a great friend, and I was really, really sad. And then I thought, damn, and the Norwegian game industry lost someone who was helping elevate all of us, and I was really sad. And then I started thinking about it more and realized he'd made impressions on all of us, that he'd shown us the way. I mean, he did music and audio for multiple games in Norway, and he worked with multiple teams. He introduced us to each other. Some of the best people I met in the Norwegian game industry, he introduced me to, and he kicked my ass to get to Spill-Konnektiv and Nordic Game and things like this. So I got to thank him, and I also have to pick up the torch that he dropped and do my part to help get things together, because that's what he was starting, and I'd like to have his mission complete. One thing about Jory is he loved Norway. For a guy who came from California, worked on great games, worked with teams like Double Fine and LucasArts and Telltale. He came to Norway and he loved it here so much. He loved working with all of our indie teams, and he was so passionate about it. Think about that for a minute. I come from Vancouver, and I got to Norway, and for a while I was, it's cold, there's not much happening, but he loved Norway. And I do too, but I saw it through his eyes that there's something special here. So I think that brings me to my next point, is this one. It's a little scary, because you've got these Scandinavian countries who are doing games, and you've got these big leaders up here, of course, pretty top-heavy with some of the stuff they do in free-to-play, but it shows you a pattern of what's happening. We have a lot less income, and one of the takeaways you can take from this is, in this form, you see Norway has 60 companies, to Iceland's 20, and then you look at the income, two differences there. You've also got something going on here with staff. So we're not doing something right. And part of that is obviously the business module, which I'm going to touch on really quickly, but I think things are changing though in the Norwegian game industry. You saw today all this stuff that was happening with the king and queen playing Fun Run 2, which is really, really cool, really exciting. It's catching attention. The Norwegian game industry is on the map now in Norway, where it counts. So I think good things are going to start happening, but I think we got to change our approach. We can't just all be by ourselves reinventing the wheel. A few days after the Queen was playing Fun Run, this happened. I don't know if they're connected, but it was just a few days, and I thought that was very cool, exciting too for companies like us who are trying to make something happen. Then this happened. The Kulturminister, she's like, yeah, we're thinking about this game stuff, and this is very cool. She's getting more involved. And then this happened. That was funny. They were like embarrassed, but I'm like, this is awesome. She's playing Pokemon Go in the Storting. That's so cool. I think it's great because it brought some awareness, and it also shows that everyone likes games, even Erna. So what's kind of going on in Norway now? This is just my Canadian perspective, but we got this little smattering of it's like a chocolate chip cookie, right? With all the little things happening here. We got some bigger clusters. You know, Oslo's got their thing. They're not really collective yet, but there's a bunch of pretty good teams, successful teams there. Bergen's got some really cool shit going on with the collective, but also the surrounding teams. Trondheim, Hammer, we all know about Hammer. They got this wicked game collective where they all work together in the same house. It's a bit like what's happening in Bergen, except everyone in Hamar is in Hamar, in the house. It's really cool. We've got Trondheim, we're trying to set up some stuff there, and Tromsø, way up north. And these guys were actually one of the precedents for me trying to start something like this, because, and I'm not starting this has been starting all along, I'm just doing my part now, but Tromsø wrote me one day and they're like, oh man, I need a creative programmer and I wish I could get some art. And it was like a symptom of what's going on. They have people up there who want to do stuff, but they don't have enough people to create the things they need. So, okay, so like for instance, Håkon Bertelsen, who does WordFeud, he sits by me in Trondheim. He outsources his art to Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic. What's with that? So I talked to him and he's like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather use Norway. Okay, so this is the thing. We just need to know what we can do and who's available. And all of a sudden, he's not outsourcing to the Czechs, he's doing it in Norway. And that's gonna help the whole industry. So Tromsø, they need people, they need stuff, but they also have stuff to offer. Every one of these clusters has the same thing. Stuff they can do, stuff they can offer, stuff they need. So why can't we help each other? I'd like to see something more like this. Pardon the really simple graphics, but man, there's no reason why there can't be this trading back and forth, people doing stuff together, learning competency from each other. When Jory went around from place to place, every team he left was better. They learned some stuff. There's other guys doing that now, like Martin. He's doing this with his audio. And there's people who go around. This is awesome. We need to do more of this in Norway. I won't read all these. We need to collect the collectives, though. We need to connect them together. And we've got to stop reinventing the wheel. We've got to stop all going through the same mistakes, the same stuff, when we could help each other. So I think what I'm trying to do is like cater to this spectrum of people we have in Norway. We've got the guys just coming out of school who are full of piss and vinegar, who want to do some stuff. They want to create 3D assets. They want to design game mechanics, whatever they want to do. We've got some big teams over here who, I mean, you see it in bigger teams too. I'm sure Tim sees it there when he's got a huge team and it's like, shit, we don't have enough work for those people right now. So what do? We don't want to let them go. Maybe we have to let them go. But like in Norway, what if we didn't have to let everyone go? What if for those 3 months you didn't need them? They could go and do something with another team, cross-train a little bit, and all of a sudden they come back to you and they're stronger. There's teams in the middle as well. Nomads who live in Hundefoss, he's just a programmer. He's working with me on a game because he wants to be part of something. He doesn't want to move to Trondheim or Oslo, but he doesn't have to be left in the cold. Then you got guys like Jory, who gets around and does stuff with everyone. So this is something that helped all of us, and I think we can cater to this crowd of people if we do it, if we try to do it. And another thing I learned is we can't all do it all, right? Our game devs, so someone said it was the doctor. He said, we're making a game. Great. Cool, you're making a game. So you launch it to the sound of crickets. Nothing happens, right? Because you haven't done the marketing right, you didn't have the business plan right. So now you've got this situation where the business people you're trying to ask for money are going, well, how come you didn't make any money? And where's your business plan? Where's all this? And these game devs are going, oh, we're putting everything we can into making this game, and we haven't thought about that. But if you try to jam that business module into some developers' heads, it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit. You got a creative person, and like make them think about this business plan and spreadsheets and all this stuff. It doesn't always work. So not all of us can do all of it, right? So we could actually look back at the investor and go, yeah, you're right, my business model sucks. But when you're doing your investments, how's your game music coming along? How's your animation? How's your programming? Now we wouldn't want to say that because we're not gonna piss them off. But that's the thing, you don't expect those people to be able to do all that stuff. So it's kind of unrealistic to expect that a small team of game devs, like 3 people, can do all that stuff. Now if you can, great, good for you, that's awesome. But not everyone can do that. So I think to integrate the business module across these zones would really help us. Now what if someone's really good at marketing, he could service 2 or 3 teams, What if someone is an investor who's like, I'd like to invest in these companies, and I'm going to be able to impact and help them all. So we need to actually treat it like a business to be looked at seriously by business. And then, if things go well, all of a sudden, we've got networks. People know people over here and over there, and maybe, someone's moving to Spain and they want to set up a little collective there, but they have contacts in Norway. Now, all of a sudden, we can start getting a little bit of this working together back and forth. This is a dream scenario, but it would be really nice to see. And then, of course, that helps you when you're launching games and sending stuff out into the world. So I think these guys had the right idea from 2 different franchises, but I think it's time to unite the clans in Norway. So I compare this a little bit to, well, it happened in Norway too, so let's use that example. There's a part of Norway where, I think it's in Otta, where the Scots, after centuries of being attacked by Vikings, they're like, all right, screw this, we're going to go back and get the Vikings. And I think it was a guy named George Sinclair, and he had his army, and then he brought it down from Trondheim, down towards the valley, and they were going to attack all the Norwegians and kill them. And if the Norwegians stood there in their farmhouses with their pitchforks individually, standing, and I'm going to protect my house, and I'm going to protect my house, they would have got their asses kicked, right? Because the Scottish army would have rolled right over them. But they didn't. They all got together, they planned an ambush, they went shoulder to shoulder, and they destroyed the invading Scots. So one more for the Vikings. So I think we got to paint our faces half blue, stand shoulder to shoulder, and start working together. Because if we just all stand on our own and keep doing what we're doing, it's just going to be what it is. If we work together, maybe something cool can happen. So that's about it. If you're interested in what I'm talking about, there's stuff happening behind the scenes, please contact me, because we don't need everyone to want to do this, but whoever wants to do this, we can start it and get it going. And I'd love to see you guys part of the team. Thank you very much.